my bitches, my bros, my non-binary hoes, how is everyone doing? Apparently, Ryan is taking a little bit of extra sleep tonight. I hope he will join us later. I am absolutely not prepared to do this cast, so please bear with me while I get my whole system ready with you in chat and everyone around. Which shouldn't take all too long, but it might take a little bit. So yeah, also if I start talking too much smack, tell me because I've had like one or two beers earlier. Not that I'm like dead drunk, but little bit tipsy, and I've been awake for a long time for the Bathurst 1000 earlier already. It's 7 a.m. here and I haven't slept yet. So I see we have joined just in time, or I have joined just in time for the formation lap. It looks like the race will have a usual standing start as we would expect. Most people are just on the intermediate tire. Actually, everyone probably Gasly will use an intermediate as well, I reckon, but I don't see that in the data yet as he will be starting from the pit lane. So yeah, the map tells me that Verstappen is now going through the last corner while Latifi hasn't even reached the spoon curve yet. But yeah, Oliver, from most things, from most weather forecasts in different systems I have been seeing, it looks like the race will be mainly wet. So now, question is, will Max Verstappen be able to wrap it up here already? Yeah, you're wrong. It's Farrell. Sorry, Yanni. You gotta deal with me as Ryan is probably catching up on some sleep. I mean, it is very early for him to cast as well, but we have everything prepared for him to join me later as soon as he's awake, which I kind of hope that will happen. So yeah, with all of the very quick setup, basically knowing that I will be casting about 2 minutes before we had the formation lap, I was not able to get a face camera ready. So yeah, there we go. My favorite red lights, they're out fast, and there we go. Everyone starting spreading out the field. It looks like Leclerc had a better start than Verstappen manages to go past. No, into the corner. Max just sends it. Turn two. Almost made contact there, but Max Verstappen was able to stay ahead just by a whisker. While those two have separated from the field quite far already, back in the field there is no incidents. It was a good, proper, clean start. And just as I said this, we see a yellow flag in Sector 1, and it seems like Vettel is falling behind the field for some reason, but he manages to keep going. Doesn't look like we need a safety car just yet. Verstappen with a beast of a start there, closely followed by Leclerc, who was almost able to jump him at the start, and they already pretty much separated from the rest of the field by about 1.5 seconds. Then with Perez in third, followed by Sainz, and then comes Ocon, followed by the rest of the field in tremendous chaos. It's immensely, immensely. Ooh, was that Sainz put it into the wall? All right. Sainz is out. That is definitely a broken rear wing. He's having there standing just after turn 11. Now the question is, was there contact? Was there not? Um, yeah, okay. I was too early to call that a proper first lap. We do have a first lap incident. We do have a safety car. People are lining up, and Sainz isn't moving. Oof, there definitely was contact for Pierre Gasly as well, as he is just taking the whole Rolex advertising board with him. And Latifi, no, Albon. That's sorry, I just saw Williams and assumed it was Latifi. It is Albon being out as well. Where is Albon standing? Just a little bit further down the road than Sainz, just after turn 12 into the spoon curve. Now, the spray has been immense. I have seen absolutely nothing from that, only very faint, a car just standing there basically, facing the wrong way. Sainz is getting out of the car unharmed. Looks like the same for Albon. So now we are getting the restart. We see both of the Alpines just throwing it out to the outside of the track there, going way offline, trying to jump someone. Didn't really look like it worked. While was that looks like Hamilton who lost out a little bit. So on board with Vettel, what happened to him in the beginning? He also went out there. Looks like he had a little bit of issues with aquaplaning while he's getting in, and then trying to turn into turn one, he just hit the side of another car. Seems like he had contact with Alonso there. I wouldn't have been able to see. The spray is insane. So yeah, so there we go. On board with Sainz. Doesn't look like contact for Sainz there. He just lost the rear, the exit of turn 11. So yeah, Alonso says he has been hit by Vettel, but if we're honest, it might as well have been Vettel hitting Alonso there. What an unfortunate going for his last race on his absolute favorite track. In turn 11, we also see Guan Yu Zhou briefly spin out. Another unforced error there, it seems. But we have seen it through the practice sessions that this hairpin, which is turn 11, seems to be collecting quite the amount of water. So now let's see on board with Albon. What happened there? Oh, that looks and sounds like a transmission issue for him, so a technical defect taking him out of the race. So the leaderboard has actually caught up, so it is Albon and Sainz out of the session so far. And there we go. The race has been red flagged. So I think that is the perfect moment to open my watermelon Red Bull. By the way, Red Bull, if you're listening, you should sponsor me because I'm drowning in your cans. So yeah, I would like to see a replay of Gasly, who basically just took a whole Rolex advertisement board with him, um, on whatever incident he had. So yeah. Damn, that was a quick start for me, just jumping in straight to the red lights going off. So now that we have a red flag and actually have some time, hello everyone, welcome. Glad you're here. You know I love you all. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I don't know, we red flag is taking at least 15 minutes, so take some time in the chat and maybe type a little story out of whatever made you smile this week. Jose, glad to have me. I'm also very glad to have you here. Always nice to have you somewhere around in the chat, calling out whatever BS I am wrong about. So yeah, what do we have? Just chat is going a little bit wild right now. I have seen that Gasly was on full wets. Checking the data, yes, he was. He actually was on the full wets, so that might explain why he decided to steal that advertisement board, but I would like to see how or why. So yeah, it looks like the rain is getting more. Radar shows rain is getting more. So yeah, we are in for quite the chaos here. How did Sign crash. He basically just, as far as I have seen it in all the replays, it was an unforced error. As he just came out of turn 11, was a little bit hard on the throttle, and just spun and hit the wall with the rear of his car, broke his rear wing. So yeah, isn't a lot of Red Bull bad for health? Yes, it is. But I don't know. It's let's not talk about my addiction issues here. Um, yeah. You have a feeling that it's going to be like Spa 2021. I sure hope not, because that is I love this track. I really do, and I almost cried in the free practice sessions where Vettel had his little goodbye messages and everything, and I want him to see I want to see him finish the race at least, because yeah, nah, Vettel, it's coming closer, he won't race in the next season. He won't he won't race next season, and that's just coming closer and closer, and I refuse to believe it. And with his relationship and love for this track, I want him to race here. If he's getting points or not, not none of my business. Don't really care about that, but I want him to race here. So yeah, ooh, just seeing that Sainz impact again from other angles, and it was quite the impact. And there we go. That's how Gasly got his free advertisement board, because Sainz basically ripped it off the wall. It flung onto the track, and Gasly there barely avoiding Guan Yu Zhou, who spun out as well. No visibility, really no visibility. You only see the red flashing on the back of the car, and out of nowhere, just advertisement board in the cockpit. That's yeah, racing statistics. Those pictures, I think, are public domain. During the red flag, maybe you could see if you can pull that up somewhere and show people with that whole thing. Max Verstappen, champion of the world. Be right back watching Bathurst. Yes, I just come from there. It is a crazy race. Um, Very fun. I would be watching it if I wouldn't like Formula One just that tiny bit more. So yeah, Vettel apparently spun out due to contact with Alonso. Joe was an unforced error, same as Sainz with an unforced error. Albon had a mechanical issue, most likely around the gearbox. So yeah, if it's continuing to go like that, we only need about 8 other DNFs to have Latifi score points. So yeah, Nakilum, no, not Nakilum. Someone said the rain will get less in about 8 minutes, so that would be pretty much lining up with the safety car procedure. So we can do that, and yeah, now the visibility is terrible. Chazem Aldermaki. No idea how to pronounce your name. Hope I didn't butcher it too bad. Thanks for that donation. Very helpful. We do enjoy that, but always remember, we are here for the sport. We are here for good motor racing, and we are here for those sweet, sweet voices casting the races to you. So don't feel obliged to donate everything. We're doing this for free. We're doing this for fun. We're doing this for you. So yeah. So that's gonna be an interesting part. Like after the red flag, with looking at the rain now, there might be a rolling start. But after how let's say first half of the first lap went, I would say Leclerc definitely gets another chance to jump Verstappen here, and that's going to be a very tense restart, no matter what sort of a restart they decide for. So yeah, how long will the red flag take? At least another. Let me see. At least another 8 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, as we do have. Thank you, Kazem, Yazem. I'm butchering your name. I'm sorry for that. Giving my best here. At least another 7 minutes due to all the restart procedures. But looking at that rain and looking at the driver cams, what's happening in the pit lane, it will probably be longer than 7 minutes. So yeah, question: what happened to Norris? Damn, within all of that chaos, he seemed to have been losing out as well. Magnussen and Stroll both had very, very good starts. So let's see. Magnussen got past Norris. It's, well, Stroll with a very decent start there, just hugging the pit wall and sliding past pretty much everyone who was ahead of him, making up a whooping 7 positions since the start. But I really can't tell you too much about that, as visibility is so bad. You can After the start, you can see them drive for about 5 seconds, and then it's just gray. You can barely see the car, which has the cam. But yeah, now on the onboard of Alonso, unfortunately, looking at this, I have to say he was just going in a straight line, and yeah, Vettel hit him. Absolutely, I can't see that being Alonso's fault in any way. But to be honest, I also can't see it being Vettel's fault in any way. It's just one of those incidents where you can't see anything. Everyone's starting on inters. You're trying to avoid one guy don't see another. It's unfortunate, but as far as it looks, at least Vettel is still in the race. Currently P16. That's where he really lost out. And he was starting in P9, so he just really really lost out there. So yeah, at least he's still in it. I just want him to finish that race. I mean, with those conditions, that's that's just random. But yeah, we on the onboard of Alonso, we should be able to see Sainz's crash, but we don't. It's just somewhere here on board with Hamilton as he goes into turn 15, into turn 12. Sorry, you just see that advertising board coming at him out of nowhere. It's like 3, maybe 4 meters away from him is the science crash. You don't see anything, and out of nowhere, it's just that Rolex advertising board flying at him. So yeah, that's a thing apparently that is happening right now. It doesn't look like they will be restarting all too soon, as we just got some pictures of Russell being still out of the car in the garage. Apparently, looking at some data with his engineers, they will probably warn him about that turn 11, as something in the build kind of the track just makes this a very, very slippery corner when it's wet. Like really slippery. So yeah, will they restart Sainz and Albon? No. The cars needed to be recovered from the track, and as far as I'm aware, if you need to recover the car in any way and you're not able to get it to the pits by yourself, you do not get to continue the race. Biggles, welcome on in chat. How are you doing? Um, I mean, you're right. I'm an engineer, definitely no master, and the only people who really know best here are the people in chat because it was about 30 seconds to lights out when I noticed that I have to cast this session. So yeah, that's been chaotic, and I'm absolutely not prepared for this. So yeah. Well, yes, the race has started, but it has also been red flagged after a lap one incident. They made another 2 laps behind the safety car, but now in lap three of the race, we do have a red flag. Drivers are currently still all out of the car, but it looks like Alex Albon is walking somewhere. No, he's not walking to his car. His car is broken. They're just showing him coming back into the pits. I'm sorry, it's 7 a.m. and I haven't slept all night, so please feel free to call out my BS. I'd like to be more prepared. No, so the red flag is because of dangerous conditions. Right. Yeah. I know why I don't know this. It's because I'm only halfway prepared and I don't have the screens up I need my little information screen here. So I'm gonna getting that ready. There we go. Farrell, did you have Heineken? No, I have actually had a Feldschlösschen, which is a Swiss beer. Um, Not a very good one, but I've had a friend bring them with him, and they were still left over. And I was watching Bathurst 1000 with some friends, and was looking forward to just hang out in the Discord with you guys, talking a little smack about everything that happened. So I've had like what is it? Yeah, two. I've had 2 beers before. So yeah, here we go. Come on, load the screen. Jose, no way Max can lose this championship. Yes, the race now, that's a whole different topic because Leclerc was having a very, very, very good start and almost made it past Max Verstappen. So yeah, that was a very, very close call. King Ju, thank you for that donation. I hope I'm doing good. I hope you're entertained, to say the least. That's what we're mainly here for. So yeah. Oof. Yeah, going into this. So race is suspended due to weather. More weather. Lots of weather. Yes. No, it's not gonna restart anytime soon, it looks like. So yeah, but now with chat, the actually interesting thing here, if we get another spa situation here and we don't see them go a full race distance, um it looks like between how was that? 2 completed laps means the race will account for points, but it is less than 25% of the race distance. So what is it? Is it that when you only get half the points, or is it when only half the field get points? Um, all right, we go for 53 laps. So let me Google that real quick. So there we go. All right. So if we have half the race distance, which would be lap 26, 27, 53 is a little bit hard to split by 2 to a natural number. But let's say by lap 27, we would have half the points awarded. If we surpass 75% of the race, it would be full points awarded. If we have so between like we have two completed laps, now it is eligible for points, but under 25%, only the top five, so half of the field will get points. That's about yeah, that's about right. So yeah, we are still having a lot of questions here. Yes, basically we have had a red flag because of a lot of incidents in the first lap. Luckily only two drivers out so far, but now that the red flag is thrown, they basically leave the red flag out until the weather improves. So now we see the medical car doing some laps, and that's not looking all too bad. So at least throughout that first sector of the track where we've seen the medical car go around, it looks like it is not all too wet on the camera. It doesn't look like very heavy rain or anything. So I think we are good to go. Some parts are pretty dry, especially through sector 1 that looks dried off fairly neatly. From practice, we have learned that we will still have basically a boating contest throughout turn 10 and 11. And apart from that, I have not seen the medical car yet. And I am having a terribly laggy stream here, so I need to restart that really quick. But I won't be out of the loop for too long. I will still be able to comment it to you, but yeah, I didn't get to prepare, and I need to do some special settings here to get the system running how it should. And currently I didn't manage to do that, but ooh, nice. The browser is restarting automatically to exactly where I was. Now that's fortunate. Even the chat is back. Nice. All right, here I am back. I got my informations up. I got the race up. I got you beautiful people in chat. So there we go. Jose, why is Gasly so pissed? Funny story. When Sainz had his crash, he ripped a Rolex advertising board from the wall, flung it onto the track, and it basically landed inside Gasly's cockpit. Not entirely, but yeah. But yeah, if we have the race basically ending under those conditions, that doesn't really do all too much in the championship, and it would still be wide open. Yet still, I want Vettel to be able to finish this race. I want Vettel to go to lap 53. Don't care about anybody else. I just want him to finish this. So yeah, but for how bad visibility has been and everything, I actually imagined more carnage in that lap 1, especially into turn 1. But there it has only been a brief little love tap between Ricciardo, no, between Vettel and Alonso. So yeah, there we go. The medical car is going around the track again, and since nothing else is happening, out of turn 7, carrying a lot of speed down into turn 8. It looks like, goddamn, that car is slow compared to the Formula 1 cars. Now it's going through turn 8 properly on the apex, barely any spray because it's, I don't know, walking speed or something. So, yeah, no, I medical car is way way too slow to properly cast that in like the Formula 1 modus I am. So yeah, and we don't actually see the medical car anymore. So I know there we see Lando Norris smiling, being happy, talking with his team there in the garage while the Ferrari mechanics are working on Leclerc's car there. It looks like the rear right tire gets some sort of work done. They don't look too panicked or anything, so it's not anything necessary. The brake covers are off, but I don't see much more. Maybe Norris is just happy because he's heard a good dad joke or something. Maybe it's sardonic laughter. Hassim, thank you again. So yeah, is Max's car fixed? Max's car didn't need any repairs. That is all good, and yeah, I do have to agree there absolutely with Megawave. Lance Stroll, he had an amazing start. Like really, he just went to the inside, to the right, had a lot of aqua planning. Like it looked kind of uneasy on his steering wheel, but he managed to jump like 4 cars or something just on the start. So yeah, that is yeah. Uh, we still don't really get any more information on the red flag. Just yeah, it's been about 20 minutes now, and it's kind of disappointing, for the pinnacle of motorsports. Yeah, rain is not their friend. Rain is definitely not their friend here. Not sure how long this will take. Actually, it's everybody seems just waiting, and we are seeing a lot of replays from yeah. Lance Stroll basically had the same start as Lewis Hamilton had, just on the very inside, and jumped a lot of people there, while Vettel tried about the same strategy, just on the left side, on the outside. And yeah, there we go. As he turns into turn 1, he just was braking earlier than Alonso, hit him in the side. Alonso tried to outbrake him there, basically. So yeah, and Carlos Sainz ha, just was too eager on the throttle, spun out, an absolutely unforced error. Same for Guan Yu Zhou, while he managed to keep it on the track, had no damage. And yeah, Albon wrecked his second gear out of turn 11. It was just kind of all happening there, while there haven't been any contact. It's just like 4 cars having an issue there, and they were all unrelated to each other. Yanni preparing to eat chicken wings? Damn, I should get chicken wings. Or like chicken nuggets, but it's Sunday and I live like countryside, so everything's closed. why did you have to say this with the chicken wings? I want some. So yeah, apparently the advertisement board that got flung out on track by Sainz's accident, Hamilton drove over that, and from the Venturi tunnels, it got just lifted up and slammed right into Gasly's car. And it seemed like he just had to continue driving like this for quite a while. And since we're red flagged, let me just hop over into the driver cam of Gasly and see how that looks. So there we go. He went into turn 11, no visibility at all. Still, you really just you barely see the red lights flashing. And yeah, Hamilton in front of him lifted up the advertisement board. It smacked into his car, blocking his view entirely. But he continues to drive like a real trooper. He fought through that, and yeah, taking the next corners. It looks like he's taking that board into the pits. He's gonna take that home. Like if I were him, if I was hit by an advertisement board like that, I would take that home. I would frame it somewhere. So yeah, really, we got the safety car warnings flashing already on the side. Him slowing down, but not enough. The board is just staying there in the front of his car, really blocking his view. But yeah, no, he's yeah, looks like he brought that yeah, he brought that board into the pits with him. A nice little souvenir to Japan. Oh no 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 no, he's losing it through the chicane. Is he? Is he not? No 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 no. It just fell a little bit. He got visibility. He's into the pit lane. He is slowing down. Pit limiter is on, and the board stays. All right, he took it into the garage with him. There we go. So we got our restart information. That will be in 12 minutes from now. We got a rolling start procedure. And I think from looking around the pictures we get, it they might stay on the intermediates, but I think a gamble on the wets wouldn't be too far fetched. Uh, excuse me. Gamble on the wets wouldn't be too far fetched at this point in time. So yeah, Stroll made up 7 points, seven places from 18s. Nice. So yeah, if how is it going for Vettel? Like he lost 7 places, is now down in 16th due to that spin. So we do get another perspective here from the start. Um, so let's see. We have Alonso. No, that's Ocon. Ocon ahead of Alonso. Yeah. So no, we don't really get to see a good perspective of that um collision between Vettel and Alonso. All we see is that Alonso decided for a wider line than Vettel did, which isn't a good idea if Vettel's the one on the outside. So, but yeah, no, he managed to catch that just fine. Of course, he went off the track, but he could keep the car going. Everything fine. So, but yeah, looking at the start Stroll had, if Vettel can pull off something like this, it's gonna be all good, I'd say. So yeah, another 9 minutes to the rolling start procedure, as it looks like most likely on Inters. So so yes, as I was saying, as it will most likely be on the Inters, the information literally just flew in. The use of wet weather tires is mandatory now. Mm. I'm yeah, nah. And there is Max going back to his car. So yeah, restart is another 7 minutes and something away. But yeah, it's nice. First time seeing wet tires in race condition. So yeah, I see a lot of just got here, what happened. I'm going to recap that when they are back out on their formation lap, so I don't repeat myself all too much, but you are seen, you are here, heard, you will get a recap of pretty much everything that happened. But yeah, Grash putting it quite simple. Water, people spun, it was chaos. Nobody really had any meaningful collisions. They just basically all crashed by themselves. Two cars are out, and that's about it. Kevin, have fun, always remember me when you go to pee. And yeah. So yeah, wet start mandatory. So interesting what I'm quite curious about what they will do with it, as the grooves of the inters seem to be an issue. Since they might displace quite a lot of water, they are very bad for grip. So I think, what do you think? Will we see people just drop into the pits and going for inters as soon as they can, or will they kind of try a turnover thing to really get use out of the wet tire? Yeah, I think like just Japan needs a force field to keep the rain out. Nah, I think they just need to host a race earlier in the season, so it's not during their rain season, basically. Yeah, she's a 10 but lost 4 places before turn one. That would make her a 6. So yeah, Verstappen ready and focused. 5 minutes to the restart, or 5 minutes to them getting out of the pits. Not quite sure about that. We will see. Forcefield would still be a good idea, so they can lean it to Singapore. No, I just think the Asian races need to be earlier in the season. Like, either in springtime or early summer. I mean, imagine going to race in Japan, which is probably one of the most beautiful countries in spring. Instead of going there in autumn, where it's gonna look like this on a good day. So yeah, You'd be surprised if we see a full race. I think we might see a full race distance. I think it will be chaos, carnage, but I think they will get a full race in. Barely, but they will. Ooh, racing statistics. Great idea. Last minute bold predictions. The question is, do we want bold predictions that are likely to happen, or is it more like wishful thinking? I mean, for wishful thinking, it would be definitely a Vettel podium. Um, I don't know. I wanna say Verstappen out of the points just to keep the championship going. Um, what else? Tsunoda P3. Definitely Tsunoda in P3. Um, and Schumacher in P2. That's gonna be my bold prediction, wishful thinking podium. Vettel winning, Schumacher in P2, and Tsunoda getting that bronze medal. Nash is second. How are you meant to stay up for this? I personally, lots of caffeine. Lots and lots of caffeine. So we just got a message in from race control. Restart is suspended. So we are not gonna go in 2 minutes as intended. I mean, well, how is this the pinnacle of motorsport? I mean, I can definitely see it being the pinnacle of motorsport in the dry, but come on. Okay, I don't know. I could, if you want, I can just, tell y'all a fun little good night story. So we can all kind of go back to sleep, and as soon as we know when the race will restart, I will just scream into the mic to wake y'all back up. A minimum of 10-minute notice will be given for a restart. So, in other words, we have to wait at least another 10 minutes until we know anything. So, yeah, I don't know. A good night story. What would be a good night story? Um, all right, yes, perfect plan. You all put in your headphones, turn the volume up so I can really just whisper and do some spontaneous ASMR through the red flag. So, there once in a time not all too far back, there was a race starting in Japan, and it was raining. It was all looking quite chaotic in the beginning, but everyone was doing well. Everyone was doing just well enough. So, for some reason, some people crashed anyways, and they decided to bring it from a just a light little safety car drizzle to a full stop red flag, and for some reason they just didn't get the balls to restart it, as the pinnacle of motorsport is actually allergic to water. So they got themselves a cat. I don't know, I'm not a good storyteller, so yeah, they got themselves a cat, but that cat was actually we need drama. That cat was drowning, I think, and it spoke Japanese, so that Japanese speaking drowning cat was I don't know, Japanese. Then can you tell a story? I am I'm bad at this. I'm really not a good storyteller. I have no idea, and I'm too tired for this. I'm too tired to make up a story. Give me 2 minutes to think about it, and then I might actually do something that is worth listening to. My my day job is storytelling. No, it's not. My day job is actually cutting wires into a specific length. It's terrible. I hate it with every fiber of my being. Amir, welcome with the racing statistic fans here. So yeah, restart is still suspended. Still looking like lots of rain. It's meanwhile it's actually given me some spa flashbacks. Yeah, but I'm actually curious about all the math things behind it on how this will turn out in the championship with the points awarded. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really getting sort of frustrated with this. I mean, Formula 1 is absolutely spectacular when there is no rain, and it's actually quite spectacular when there is light rain, but now that's just kind of yeah. uh, it just doesn't look like the weather is that bad actually. Like there are people on um coasters next to the track having fun. I mean, yeah, there is rain. Yes, there is standing water on track, but I I don't know. Jose Martinez, hard to find your channel. Just click him. Are the wets not usable? No, it looks like it's just too wet for full wet tires as well. Maybe he found the channel of another Jose Martinez. So yeah, Jose, it is too wet for wets. That's um that's the issue here. Could they cancel the race? Yes, they could. That actually happened before. Usually they try to get some points, some laps in just so they can award some points. Wait, I've had that before. It's kind of complicated with like if you get 25% of a race distance in, um, half of the field, like the first five drivers, will get points awarded. After half a race distance, you will get half the points awarded for whatever position you have then. And after 75% of a race distance, you get the normal race thing, the normal race points awarded as we know it, basically. So for Japan, that would be about lap 14 to get half the drivers awarded with points. It would be 27 to get half points awarded, and it would be lap 41. We have to reach for full points. So yeah, we need the password or magic words from GTA that makes tires horizontal and a car can drive on water. I have no idea. I have never played GTA in that depth, basically. So yeah, we're still kind of a red flag that has been thrown after lap 3, which apparently is enough to it is apparently enough to get the drivers award points. They're still kind of fighting on or discussing, not disgusting. That's the weather. They're discussing um when and how to restart. They tried pretty much 10 minutes ago with a mandatory full wet restart, but then decided that the track conditions aren't good enough to get the cars running again. So yeah, the race isn't canceled just yet. I think we will have that back and forth and watching the weather and hoping for better weather for about another hour. So yeah, a restart will be somewhen. There is no word on it yet. As per safety car procedures, red flag procedures, it's taken at least 15 minutes, which is 5 minutes start, and then you have a 10-minute call back to the race. So for now, we just know that it will be longer than 10 minutes until it restarts. So yeah, maybe we will just need yeah, super wet tires. Apart from full wet tires and intermediate tires. So yeah, camera for Jose. It looks like Leclerc is making out with one of his engineers. So what? Like what? What kind of weird fantasies are you having there? So yeah, I don't know. I don't think that Japan shouldn't be on the calendar anymore. I just think Japan should be on the calendar in spring or early summer. When. Yeah, well, but in the meantime, the Japanese fans are definitely out there for entertainment, like what they are wearing. Definitely my favorite fan culture right there. Just having hats with Formula One cars on them, or just showing up in full race gear, cosplaying their favorite drivers. It's fairly nice to see that. Actually, I wish that would be more of a culture throughout the rest of the world. So yeah, the thing is, will the race restart or not is really dependent on the weather, and it's well, if you watch on the AccuWeather, which is just the thing I'm having on my phone, it looks like the rain is about to stop soon. They're always showing some pictures of one or another race radar of the team, and some of those radars just show you how it will get worse from now on. Others show you how it stays like that. Others show you how it's getting better from now on. It's very inconclusive. So yeah, I don't know if it will just take lots of time. I mean, the drivers are out of their cars once again. So we see the engineers at McLaren running around with some hot beverage. It looks red. I have no idea what it is. Maybe I don't know, hot Kool-Aid, hot aid, so to say. Are any of the drivers eating ice cream? No, but that was what was that? Malaysia, I think it was Malaysia. Where the rain was also paused due to rain, and all the drivers stayed in the car and just were shivering and freezing. And who would I think it was it Kimi? It sounds like something Kimi would do to just get out of the car. And there we go. We see a Red Bull fan in the stands eating ice cream. There we go. He just sat down next to a friend who apparently got the joke as well. So yeah, no, it was Kimi Raikkonen then just sitting in the back of the warm Ferrari garage having ice cream while every other driver was sitting in the car getting wet and basically freezing their buttocks off. Was it? Did I get that story straight? I mean, yeah, Swagger says it was Kimi in Malaysia because I'm not a Formula One historian. I to be honest, I've almost forgotten what race we've seen last week. So yeah. Um but after this little excursion into 13 years in the past, what are we? Back to the here and now. Information here says that this weird red beverage McLaren have been serving was actually hot soup to keep the engineers warm. I mean, it's not too bad of an idea. The air temperature is around 16 degrees centigrade or 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Track temperature just fell below 20 or 67 Fahrenheit. So yeah, we do have a little bit of an interview with Alex Albon here. at the moment, and yeah. Nice. So Albin's saying you do have like no visibility to the front, so you were just basically flashing your eyes left and right just so you could see where you are on the track at least. So yeah. Jose, the Gasly incident will be investigated after the race. What Gasly incident? Him stealing advertisement boards? Is that I think it's not allowed, yeah. So yeah, it's still no word on when we will restart, but yeah, Jose, good point. They will probably just bill him for that advertisement board. In destruction of property, you can't really get that destruction of property to Gasly. I mean, Sainz spun out and ripped it from the wall, then Hamilton drove over it and flung it up into the wall. Gasly was the nice person picking it up, bringing it into the pits so it wouldn't damage anybody else. So, yeah, just saying. What? What? Yeah, looks like the FIA is having some broadcasting issues as well. Um, so yeah, it looks like they will send out the medical car for another run. There is less spray than there was on the last run, and it's not like I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to different kinds of rain as I'm Swiss, and I live up on a mountain where we have floodings every now and then. So, but it's more looking like a medium drizzle or light. Yeah, no, it's not light rain. It's rain. It's rain. So yeah, the Haas engineers having coffee, it looks like. So yeah, you'd pay an AlphaTauri engineer a lot of money if they signed the board saying towed by Pierre Gasly. King Chu, that sounds that sounds like quite the good idea, but honestly, if I were Gasly, I would take that signage home. Yeah, and we have now jumped over to a 2-hour timer. So it is 1 hour and 53 minutes left to that session, no matter what happens in that time. So yeah, what did we have throughout practice? I think the wet weather laps were around 3 1 2 yeah, around 2 minutes, a little bit faster than that. So to get to the full distance of another, let's say, 50 laps, we would need almost 2 hours. I mean, that's 100 minutes. That's 1 hour 40 minutes, so they would need to restart in the next 15 minutes at least to get in a full race distance. So yeah, I do hope we do get a restart soon. I mean, that's just, with I can understand to have like wet weather incidents and stuff every now and then, but this is getting ridiculous. So yeah, let's see. Team radio coming in from Mick Schumacher. Let me have a listen to that. Nice. So we get a full almost 20-second radio message of Mick Schumacher telling that he doesn't know when the race will continue, and his engineer doesn't know when the race will continue. All we know is that some people are in the car, some people are out of the car. So yeah. So yeah, the medical car out there on another testing lap. It's just going very, very slow. So of course there is no spray. Uh, It's to everybody in the chat saying that this race is a joke. I implore to ask, what race do you mean? We had half a lap of racing, not even. So yeah. Do I think Max will win? Well, as it currently stands under red flag, Max Verstappen is in P1, followed by Leclerc, Perez, Ocon, and then Hamilton in P5. And if the race gets cancelled now, those are the 5 drivers that will be awarded points. Hype! Jose coming in with the hype! It's yes, as we have an interview with the chief engineer Paul Moonigan from Red Bull. He's almost falling asleep himself. So yeah, Verstappen out there just talking to Horner. Not really much going on, but it's especially bad because we just don't have any information on what's what's going to happen. I mean, Verstappen wouldn't become champion like that at all. First of all, he wouldn't get a fastest lap. Leclerc is in second, and it's only half the points awarded. So yeah, I think for 2023, the cars need to be designed a bit differently. Um, Basically, so they can drive in conditions like this because yeah, well, on the other hand, maybe the cars could drive in those conditions, but visibility is nothing. Like, it's really nothing. So from the visibility point of view, I can understand they would not want to go out there, or not want to let them get out there, basically. Do you think it's even possible for Leclerc to even have a chance? Well, it's kind of like, it is over when it is over. So for now, yes, he still have a chance. It's a very small chance, but uh, I like if there isn't really any major screw ups from Red Bull themselves, I think it's pretty safe for Max to win the title. But basically, if Leclerc just always comes in ahead of Verstappen throughout the rest of the season, he could still be champion. And I would call that a chance because Verstappen managed to come in ahead of Leclerc throughout the rest of the season, basically. So yeah. So yeah, for whoever who just joined, let's get a quick recap of that first half a lap we had. We had a very short sequence actually of starting lights. And then Verstappen with kind of a slow start compared to Leclerc, who was almost able to jump him. They went into turn one side by side. We're still side by side by turn two, but then Leclerc kind of had to back out of it while Verstappen just could carry more speed into turn three and four, going through that S part of the track, which basically secured Max's lead so far. Vettel, due to very, very, very poor visibility, had a little coming together with Alonso, which caused him, unfortunately, to spin out, which made him fall back into 18th place, but no damage to either his or Alonso's car, so that's okay. It's just a terrible visibility lap one incident. Then coming up to turn 11, Carlos Sainz was a little bit too enthusiastic on his throttle, spun out and put the rear of his car into the wall at turn 12, ripped an advertisement board loose, which flung onto the track, then got basically lifted up from the airstream of Lewis Hamilton's car and slammed into Gasly, who then towed that advertising board back into the pits. Albon, as well, out of turn 11, completely unrelated to the other incidents, had a gearbox issue and had to retire because of that. Hydraulics, um, as far as I'm aware, so far. And Guan Yu Zhou also was just a little bit too enthusiastic into turn or out of turn 11, spun out as well and lost a few places through that. Um, yeah, that's about it. So yeah, so far we are delayed by a bit more than an hour. Um, and it looks like we will wait for at least another 15 minutes, at least, probably more, depending on how this goes. But yeah, like from thing is from my perspective as a Formula One fan, I think it's absolutely disappointing that they can't handle to drive with wet conditions. On the other hand, from having a look at it from the engineering perspective, you can't really do anything about the spray. That spray behind the cars, that is just going to happen, and it does impede your visibility. And if you can only see about 4 or 5 meter ahead of you, you can't go around the track at 300 miles an hour, at 200 miles an hour, 300 kilometers an hour. That's just that's just a big no-no. I doubt the cars could drive, but they don't have to because it's like I think it's just too much of a risk for the drivers. Like from the engineer's perspective, from the I want to see a goddamn Formula One race in Japan when it's been announced. Um, it's just disappointing that they're not able to construct a goddamn car that can drive in the rain. So yeah, for now we really can't say when or if the race will be back. We can only say that it will surely, most certainly, or definitely end in 1 minute and around 40 minutes. Yeah, Mark Baser, the idea with mud flaps, not bad. Just yeah, make a mud flap setup basically. So you get the full wet tire, and whenever you mount the full wet tire, you get to mount mud flaps on the car. The FIA treating the drivers like kids, wouldn't say that. They are treating the drivers like human beings, which lives shouldn't be put at risk unnecessarily. I think that's the point there. We are kind of out of this. Just go drive and basically win or die out there. So yeah, I think we won't see Japan in autumn back anymore. I hope we don't. I mean that this is basically whole Asia being in the rain season this few months. You know that before. We've known that for hundreds of years. So that is just bad scheduling. What does it mean 2 hours overtime? Um, Basically, we had a race escalating very bad. That was in Canada. I don't know, Chat will know what year it was. But in Canada, it escalated up to, I don't know, 6 hour race or something. And that was bad for advertisement as the TV slots were gone and it's all of that. And then the FIA basically decided to just say the race is supposed to start at time X. It's going to take about 2 hours. So we have a 3 hour window. And after those 3 hours are done, the race will end no matter if they drive 3 laps or 30 laps, basically. So we need lights on F1 cars now. I'd love to see that just like for design purposes on one hand, and on the other hand, if it is an FIA licensed car with lights, I'd be allowed to drive that on street. I couldn't afford it, but I could dream of having an F1 car being street legal. Who crashed first? Who crashed first? Timeline, I would say it was Vettel. Vettel crashing first, basically into turn one. While it wasn't really a crash, it was more of a tap. It didn't have any consequences. It was like 5 seconds of a yellow flag, and that's it. Limits them to third gear. I wouldn't do that though. Race with a pit limiter on. That sounds like fun. The cars will yeah, no, the cars would overheat like after 3 turns or something. What happened to Albon? Albon had a hydraulics issue, probably connected to the gearbox. At least it sounded like the gearbox. Yeah, brainwasher, also great idea. Just have them turn around and race in reverse. So yeah, the science incident looked really scary, but it wasn't really at very high speeds or anything. It's just because the track is basically wet, you just don't get any abrasion that stops you. So you're just sliding the speed you have. You become the unstoppable object until you hit a barrier. So yeah, the race isn't canceled yet, but looking at the timetable, 1 hour 36 minutes left. I don't think that this will be enough time to run the full race distance, especially with any wet or intermediate conditions. So yeah. At Farrell, is Vettel Alonso a racing incident or Alonso fault? It is a racing incident. I mean, it is hard to say due to all the spray. Like on Vettel's camera, you don't see Alonso. Like he is pulling right up to him, and you don't see him. Same goes for Alonso's onboard camera. You don't see Vettel there. And now the thing is, you can take turn one. Basically, we're driving it alone. You're trying to start as far left out as possible, and then kind of slowly turn in through turn one to then in turn two get a really, really proper apex. And Vettel was trying to get this line because he didn't see any cars around him, while Alonso has had a visual on a car inside of him and went basically straight around and tried to get a wider line through turn one, and then they just kind of side impacted each other. So yeah, nobody really knew the other one was there. So absolutely a racing incident. Ooh, a mirror. Even upgrading to the supporters here. That is much appreciated. Thank you very much. So yeah, it is. Medical car is coming back in. No calls on anything with the conditions so far. Um, yeah. There might be a call. I do hear some teams firing up their engines again, and usually you don't do that unless you are preparing the car to go back out. So yeah, I mean it might also be that they're just firing the engine up to for some weird other reason. But yeah, let's see. They're fumbling around Verstappen's steering wheel. Something. Not exactly sure why. Looks like they're preparing something around Ricciardo's car, and Norris's engineers are just standing there drinking coffee. Or no, no, no. The McLaren crew were the ones who were getting soup. Um, Vettel's onboard camera is obstructed, so I don't see anything there. Latifi as well. Pierre Gasly's onboard is just fogged up a lot, but he has tires on the car. And the engineers are actually there, like ready in their helmets. Um, so Ivana, will everyone be able to restart the race? No. Albon and Sainz are out as Sainz wrecked his car with an impact, and Albon had a technical issue on his gearbox. So yeah, Tsunoda just hopping around the grid, the pit lane, waving to fans, having kind of the time of his life. So yeah, let's go further through driver cameras here to see what's happening. Nothing really with Paris. Alonso has his camera turned off. Interesting. Isn't he out on track? I thought they were only allowed to turn off the camera if they are um in the garage, but apparently not. Or maybe there's a technical issue. Leclerc is all fucked up and obstructed as well. Nothing to see with Stroll. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I want to keep optimistic and say that they are still might be restarting the race, but you know, uh, realistically saying, looks like people are leaving. People in their ponchos. It doesn't look like any driver is anywhere near his car even, so yeah, all right, going through the whole field. None of the drivers is in their car. So yeah, I sure hope the race will continue because well, it's Vettel's last time in Japan and he really loves this track with a passion, and I would have loved to see him race here, but I don't know. We do get a quote from Andreas Seidel here. We all we can do is wait, study the weather forecast, and make sure the cars are ready to go at any moment. The driver as well. To be honest, it's quite a pessimistic outcome. The forecast says it will keep raining. So Andreas Seidel says to keep ready, but he personally doesn't think the race will continue. So, yeah, that's sad. So yeah, no, Sambeat, stop spreading any fake news here. Seidel didn't confirm anything as he doesn't even have the authority to confirm or make any decision there. It's just his personal opinion that it's probably not going to continue, but they will keep their drivers ready. That's the statement there. Brash, the tinfoil hats are out. All right. Let me say something. I am fairly sure that since this is the Honda track and Red Bull is becoming back closer to a Honda Works team, I am fairly sure they have actually gotten their planes and fighter jets out, and then they just spread rain clouds over the surface after they knew that Verstappen would start on pole, just so they would have a guaranteed win and make that look better in their books. You know, that's what's happening here. You know, it's Honda controlling the weather. So yeah, we still don't have anything official here. Um, all we see is pictures from drivers sitting in the garages and waiting. Um, that's about it. I mean, yeah. So here we get the information in. The race has to surpass lap 40. So it has to be going into lap 41 at least to be awarded with full points. So for Verstappen to wrap up the championship, they have to get past lap 41, or they have to enter lap 41, and he needs to win with the fastest lap if Leclerc gets in second. If Leclerc is anywhere further back, thing is safe. So yeah, Ogwald, yeah, you did it right. I was actually watching another race and just switching over to Formula One, but doesn't look like there's anything happening here. All right. Give me a second. I will be right back. I gotta go and get myself some more caffeine. I'll be right back. All right, no, so that sucks. I do not have any energy drinks left in the house. No Monsters, no Red Bulls, nothing. Nothing. What do I do? Guess it's gonna be another not very interesting Formula One podcast with yours truly, Farrell. And what lap was the race red flagged? It was red flagged in lap three. So we had a half a lap of racing, 2 laps behind the safety car, and then it was red flagged. Nagging wife is better than caffeine to keep you awake. I wish I had a wife, but Grash just keeps on blocking all of the dating bot ads we're getting in here. I mean, he's doing a good job, but he's also the reason why I don't have a wife to nag me awake, you know? That's on you, my friend. So yeah, there's really not much more than yeah, at the start. We had a brief yellow in sector one due to Vettel having contact with Alonso and spinning. Nothing too bad happened there. No crash, no damage, no penalties, just a racing incident as it has to be expected. And then we just had absolute carnage through turn 11, that little hairpin where Sainz was too eager on the throttle, crashed out, wrecked the back of his car. Actually, Pierre Gasly stealing one of the advertisement boards from Rolex, getting them in. Crash with that super chat. You're doing me a favor. I trust you on that one. I trust you on that one. Um, so yeah, yeah, what else do we have? Basically then what else happened? Alex Albon had a technical issue with his gearbox and was out. Then Guan Yu Zhou also spun out of turn 11 due to a traction loss on the rear. And that's basically everyone but Albon and Sainz could continue. The red car, the red car, yes, the red safety car came out. Um, so basically to clear the track of Sainz's Ferrari, and yeah, that basically just brought the red flag out as conditions apparently worsened immensely, and since then we are just on red flag. You heard some advertisement banner was removed by pilot. Yes, basically, that was my personal highlight of the race. Sainz's crash ripped one of the advertisement boards out and flung it onto the track, where it just so missed Hamilton. The aerodynamics of Hamilton's car whipped that thing straight up into the air, and it just came basically crashing down. Kind of, or got flung into the front wing of Gasly and actually stood up. So Gasly had just that board in front of his face while trying to get behind the safety car. And the race then was red flag, but he was not. Gasly was not able to get rid of that board until he went into the pits, where his mechanics then removed it. So yeah, yeah. I mean, on Sky Sports, they're also just making a nature documentary out of that, as we are seeing pictures of ducks in the ponds diving. So yeah, it's uh 1 hour 15 minutes left to a possible race. It's already so much ducks have ponds to swim in. Actually, there are ponds around the track, like they are put there. So yeah, fair point from Grash. IndyCar couldn't race here either because the visibility is a problem from the aerodynamics, flinging all of that air, water up into the air, basically creating a green of water you just can't see through. And if you're in P1, that's completely fine. You can go. It's just a little bit of a wet track, no problem. The problem comes in if you are in second or third or then fourth, fifth, sixth. That is visibility is just getting lower and lower and lower. But I've read a fairly good idea in chat before that you will just have the full wets mandatory mounted and add a rule that if you are going out on the full wets, you need to mount some sort of mud flap or something you can just screw onto something there. That would surely help with a spray. It wouldn't make it go away, but it would surely help it. So yeah, Nash, I feel you. I have ruined my sleep schedule as well. Yeah, and I gotta be honest, my sleep schedule was ruined before. You want your sleep back, isn't it? Isn't it enough that you have been getting up to listen to my beautiful voice, trying to make a whole lot of nothing sort of entertaining for you guys? I mean, it's just kind of disappointing. I mean, they're having another interview with Mario Isola here, from the Pirelli team. He already wanted to test tires in FP3 or FP2. It was a 30-minute longer session than planned, but the rain already washed that one away, and now he kind of rumbles through, yeah, the full wet tire displaces 3 times the amount of water an intermediate does, which is kind of bad news because that means there's 3 times the amount of water just sprayed into the air, blocking the view of whoever's behind you. So, yeah. I kind of hope that they will race in Japan again, but yeah, that basically implies that they will race at Japan on one hand. On the other hand, just I don't know, make it a spring race. Japan is such a beautiful country in spring. And the conditions are very, very hard to get a feel for. Because if you look like at the puddles and everything on screen where you should see the water impacting, it doesn't look like much rain. Maybe they just all go out on a full wet, maybe do like 3, 4 laps. I mean, we have quite high winds as well at 9.7 kilometers an hour, so all the air that gets sprayed up into the air will be carried away by the wind. So yeah, yeah. Mm. Yeah, I mean the kind of the bad news or the very annoying news about this is that if the FIA or the stewards decide to continue the race, it is only a 10-minute call. We then have to wait for 10 more minutes until the race actually resumes. So yeah, and we just get the points on the drivers' championship. Perez could actually become a danger to Max Verstappen if he wins the season, as he is only 2 points behind Leclerc at this point. But way more interesting, I think, is that Nicholas Latifi currently is in P21 of a 20 driver championship. He managed to come in 21st. So, yeah. Yeah, it's like I try to refuse all the spa vibes I'm getting from this, but meanwhile, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Um, Spa wasn't better because of points. There are points awarded for Japan as well. They had 3 laps out there. So yeah, there we go. We will have points awarded, but only half the points to half the driver. So yeah. I mean, this is actually kind of good for the championship battle because Max won't win the title like this. So yeah, good good little good little question there in the poll if the race should be cancelled or not. I'm gonna sit this one out. I really don't know if it should be cancelled or not. Because on one hand, it's just like, all right, it's kind of fucked up. Call it done, so we can all go back to sleep or whatever. On the other hand, I came here for a race. I want a race to happen. But yeah, basically, it doesn't look like it is raining that bad anymore. So I would say just give a broom to all the marshals, sweep the water off the track, maybe do 1 or 2 laps on the full wet tires with the Formula One cars, and then that should be racing conditions. I mean, there is a lot of spray, but the spray just means that the water is flung up. If you don't drop new water there, that's actually just clearing the track. But doesn't look that they do that. You're off to feed your 15 dogs. That's a lot of dogs. Everyone should just race the safety car for 1 round. That would be fun. Just everyone gets to race the safety car for 1 lap, and whoever gets the fastest lap in with that then wins the race. I mean, it's very gimmicky, but at least we would get something racy out there. Maybe do a go-kart race. Yes, just every driver has apart from their Formula One cars, they also have like a special go-kart in case the conditions get too bad. They just all drive a go-kart. Um, oof. One of the Ferraris got. Oh yeah, no, that's Sainz's Ferrari coming back into the pits. I am not awake enough to think fast enough. Yeah, Biggles, wanna give us a quick update on how the Bathurst is going? Who's winning? Like P1 and P2 is close. It has been the past years. Like I think the last 2 or 3 years, the race has been decided by less than a second between P1 and P2. Yeah, sort of, I don't know. We always get said it's boring to watch paint dry, but have you ever watched a Formula One circuit dry? That's uh that's boring. Yeah, Biggles, nobody's sure about F1 going ahead. So my call is if we don't get a go ahead within the next 5 minutes, we will get some kind of farce behind the safety car where they're just trying to get something in for whatever, trying to get some sort of spectacle, maybe even try to get a certain amount of laps in so they do not have to reimburse the tickets or whatever. I don't know what can we do apart from making this a documentary. Like we're currently seeing a very calm Daniel Ricciardo in his natural environment, a so-called McLaren garage. He is looking at those screens as they will decide on how he has to behave in his future mating rituals to see if he will be able to mate with a higher position up on the grid for the next race. We also see nice footage there of a Haas Formula One car going through a wet track. It looks like it is having the very, very aggressively displacing wet tires on, who are there to just make a path. So the Formula One car is actually carving its own path through the rain, which is unique in motorsports, as it seems like Formula One cars are the only ones able to displace enough water to actually be racing, but on the same time be unable to race. Mark Beezer, 2022 rules require 2 green flag laps for points to be awarded. All right, then we're not having any points awarded here yet, as we've only had half a green flag lap so far. So yeah, but at least it looks like Yuki Tsunoda is having a great time there. I mean, he is terrible in race conditions. We've seen it in Canada where he crashed the car out of the pit lane. So yeah. So I will probably just get the cars out there for some laps so they get a minimum requirement in where they then can justify to not reimburse any money to the fans. But I mean, if I were Tsunoda having my home race in the rain, especially for PR reasons, I would rather not race my home race than race my home race in the wet. Yeah, Pirelli boss says, oh, with emphasis on each wet tire can display 85 liters of water each second at a speed of 300 kilometers an hour, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, 85 liters. That's a lot. That's like 20 gallons, I think. All right, there we go. Pierre Gasly showing his hip thrust in the garage. Bratas, the red flag issue is weather. So yeah, it's been 2 hours since the start. So yeah, it's been 2 hours. The race could have been finished by now. So yeah, 3 average bathtubs of water from every wheel every second. No, 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 no. The bathtub thing can't be right. I mean, I've had an aquarium that got 100 liters, and I wouldn't fit in there. I would say a bathtub would be around 500 liters. Or is the average bathtub in the USA just tiny? Do you basically just sit in a barrel? So yeah, but Tsunoda is having the time of his life there. Like very smiley, waving to the fans, jumping around the pits. Like he's happy. He's our little sunshine there. You say you don't sit in a barrel. So I mean, wait, let me scroll back up to that message. Um where is it? There it is. 3 average bathtubs of water from every wheel every second. So you want to tell me that one or like the 3 average bathtubs are 85 liters. So one average bathtub would be 28 point something liters. Let's say 30 liters. 30 liters is not much. I mean, the tank, like the fuel tank on a small car grabs around 40, maybe 50 liters, and I couldn't take a bath in that. Yeah, there we go. Race will resume at 16:15 local time. That is 8 minutes from now. So yeah, we gotta push that up to those 1,000 likes, because if we don't do that, they will find another reason to abort the race. We don't want that. Oh, 85 gallons of water per second. But 1 gallon is about 4.5 liters. So I'm too tired for actually doing the math up my head. So let me get a calculator out real quick. So there we have 85 gallons, which 1 gallon is about 4.5 liters. Um, so once again, I got 85 gallons. 1 gallon is about 4.5 liters. So that's 382 liters, which is an average or more than 3 average bathtubs. So if we divide that by 3, we get 127.5 liters. So I stay with my statement. I've had a 100-liter aquarium, and that's been about a fifth of a bathtub. So I stay with a bathtub is 1,000 liters, 500 liters in average. So all right, yeah, there we go. Looks like the action is back on. Hamilton about to climb into his car, just putting up his Hans device. Verstappen already sitting back in the car, being kind of inappropriately touched by his engineers who are putting up the belt. It always looks very inappropriate. Average US bathtub size is about 300 liters? That's tiny. So you are sitting basically in barrels. Well, yeah, please stop with math. Well, Jose is an engineer. I'm kind of an engineer, so we tend to get kind of mathy here. So all right, if they reach if they reach lap 27, it will be half points awarded for the race. If they reach lap 41, it will be full points awarded for the race. Thing is, for lap 41, they have to drive 38 more laps. With those weather conditions, pit stops, and everything, let's say 2 minutes per lap, that's not going to happen. So we'll see about 30 more laps. I don't think we will see full points awarded here, as the race will only take around 49 minutes. So yeah, we get the restart in 4 minutes 35 seconds, which will be which will leave us with a little more than 49, a little less, let's say just less than 50 minutes of race. So yeah. Talk about water, okay? What do you guys think about showers? About showers, I have a little secret for you. The one who's taken showers is only afraid to smell. And I ain't afraid of nothing. So, yeah, don't don't shower, be cool kids. So, yeah, 3.5 minutes left. Maybe I will get Maybe I will wake up again. So yeah, we are at 951 likes. We need to get that 1,000, else I fear the FIA will end abort the countdown once again. Hot showers suck. Interesting, that whole shower thing seems to be way more controversial than I expected it to be. Come on, 993. Yeah, racing statistics. Any word of Ryan? Will he join us, or is he still fast asleep? All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. It looks like all right, drivers still in the cars, umbrellas over the drivers. Slight panic in Russell's eyes. No word from Ryan yet. Well, that is unfortunate. All right. So 1 minute 40 seconds. We're getting there. We hear in the background, "We Will Rock You" of Queen is played, or at least something with the beat of "We Will Rock You." We see a couple there in the grandstands clapping very, very unrhythmically with the song. That's kind of sad. So yeah, Nash, you're right. Ryan's decision to sleep, well, up until now. I mean, it's 1 minute and we get a race start. It's still wet condition. Um, so yeah, we don't we I don't really know what tires they're having on the car right now. I see some blue specks on the aerial shots. So yeah, come on. 35 seconds. 34, 3, 2, 1, 30 more seconds. Full wet tires on Verstappen's car. So I guess it is still mandatory full wet. The car is fired up. Sergio Perez sitting there firing up his car. Full wet tires all along the lane, or as far as I can see at least. Yes, every perspective, everyone on full wets. We do get a race start. We do see some, yeah, safety car is gone. Max Verstappen out of the pits, green light. There we go. Finally. So, 48 minutes and some change until they are once around. I guess behind the safety car, we will be down to about 46 minutes, but that's fine. 46 minutes under those conditions still bring us about, let's say 24 something laps of racing. So, back to that points debate. We need to complete 2 racing laps, so green flag laps, not behind the safety car, for the initial points to be awarded, which means 6 points for the winners. For the winner, 4 for second, 3, 2, 1. That's it. That's the first 5. After after 2 green flag laps. If we get to the point that we get 14 laps, then half the points will be awarded as we know. So 12.5 for first, and so on. And then if they somehow manage to get 27 laps in, the winner would still get 19 points. but it looks unlikely that they will even um, reach 27 laps. While it might be close, I mean, the rain seemed to have fully stopped. At least for now, there's still a lot of spray. So I don't know. I don't know how much water is falling past. I mean, it's still very cloudy. If you look up north, but down south, it is rather dry, even sunny, and wind is coming from south. So the clouds are going to be blown away. Nice. So if we get past lap 14 and Verstappen winning with a fastest lap, that will be the title decision. Or is my math too far off? Oh, that should be right. If they get past lap 14 and Verstappen wins with the fastest lap, championship is decided. Oof. While Ocon is saying on the radio that visibility is good, it's not good on the camera. So, all right. I mean, we have been waiting for this for pretty much 2 hours. So, I sure hope that these last 40 minutes of racing get as spectacular as it can be, basically. Oh yeah, there they go. Verstappen now. Uh, Come on, switch that driver cam around. I want to see what's ahead of him as they are going up into turn 11. I would like to see the conditions there as this has been very, very, very slippery before. But it looks like Verstappen and Leclerc behind him went through it without any issues. Bottas is standing still on the start-finish straight. Or at least his GPS signal is standing on the start-finish straight. So now that's peculiar. Is his GPS sender just malfunctioning and therefore showing him in the pit lane, or is there an issue? Because all we have heard is him complaining about the visibility being still terrible. Let's hear what Verstappen has to say. What? Yeah, come on. Cars are out now. You have to continue the race. There is no other way, but the safety car is still out. All right, yeah, Daniel Ricciardo liking the track condition, or at least calling them not too bad, but visibility seems to be an issue. So let's see, wind still at 9 kilometers an hour. So, yeah, what happened to Bottas? I have no idea. It looks like it was just a malfunction of his GPS sender, as on the driver tracker he has. All right, back up and running. Safety car will go into the pits after this lap. So on the driver tracker, Bottas has disappeared, and on my data sheet, Bottas is just standing somewhere in the middle of the track. So yeah, we have Verstappen coming through, Leclerc coming through. Well, I won't see the whole field pass. They're just gonna show the front of the field basically. So doesn't really look like there's any statement on Bottas. Oh, there, yeah, Bottas has a transponder issue, but he is in the train and just radioed that visibility is still poor. Yeah, we got to that. So yeah, Bottas still in the race. Just his transponder being kind of whack. All right, yeah, strategy will be interesting. I mean, they are starting on a full wet, and as soon as you're on full wets or intermediates, the one-stop rule that you need to drive different compounds falls away, and the rule never states that you need to make a pit stop. It only says that you have to drive two different compounds of tires, unless unless you're on a wet or intermediate. So there we go. Verstappen picking up the pace through turn 16, going on the start finish straight, and there we go. We got insane spray, but Leclerc is actually still there, barely visible, but he's there. And yeah, Verstappen already pulling quite the gap to his teammate Perez already, but Leclerc isn't giving up and hanging in there. The wind is looking quite well. We got the first inters set on Sebastian Vettel's Aston Martin there, almost an unsafe release. Now that is Latifi having a little bit of a faster stop. They go out of the pits side by side. At least that's an unsafe release. Vettel ahead of Latifi out of the pits. Those are the first runners we have on inters. Now the question is, what does Verstappen do? I mean, he is in the lead. He is doing well there. I think he will stay out on that wet tire as long as he possibly can, just to basically not lose out on that track position. Because in the rain, within all of those people, that's going to be very, very, very risky. So yeah, it might even be that Perez is driving a little bit slower on purpose just to hold back the field and giving Verstappen time to basically just storm ahead and get into or out of that pit window or get the other drivers out of his pit window. That's the way that's how it becomes a shoe. That's not a saying in English, is it? So wird ein Schuh draus. So yeah, timing is really looking like Perez isn't even trying to go all too fast, but just really being there to help Max defend that. I mean, if I were Red Bull, I would do exactly that. Have Perez as a second driver. Now they're just fending off the field, impeding the others as much as legally possible, of course. So basically, you can secure Max's title now. I mean, all he needs is a win for sure. Fastest lap, I think. I mean, it's half points. But with the half points, Leclerc will get awarded the same half points as he would, so he would still need the fastest lap as far as I'm aware. So yeah, but it is staying interesting. I'm having Max on my separate screen just as a driver camera, but as he is ahead of Leclerc, I'm going to quickly switch that over to the Leclerc onboard camera. Visibility is, well, it is rain visibility, but you can see ahead. You see your braking boards, you see the edge of the track. So visibility is okay. And interesting, the pit lane incident between Vettel and Latifi has been reviewed, and no further investigation has been necessary for that unsafe release, even though they were exiting the pits basically side by side. But it looks like the Aston Martin of Stroll is struggling there a little bit, as he is just overtaken time after time after time. I mean, he made up so much places. Now he lost out to Schumacher and Magnussen. So there we go. Leclerc into the pits. Verstappen into the pits. So now it is all about the stop. So, all right. They are double stacking. Kind of a slow stop there for Verstappen. No, 2.7. That's actually quite good, but it looked slow. It looked way slower than that. But Leclerc had a 3.8. Perez with a 3.1. So, all right, Verstappen now behind Schumacher, Ricciardo, and Alonso, and Joe was able to overtake Leclerc in the pits. So if Alfa Romeo decides to keep Guan Yu Zhou out there, Leclerc would have to fight past him as well. And currently we see Alonso in the lead, but on a wet tire. So how I know Alonso, he will refuse to pit. He will absolutely refuse to pit and try and win this. That's my call on that. All right, Russell complaining about the Inters, it being the worst decision they have made. Sounds bad. Sounds really, really bad, if we're honest. So, but now let's have an eye on Alonso there. Leclerc still behind Joe, coming up on him, trying to get a tighter line through the spoon curve. Manages to get the foot down earlier and overtakes him. Now it's again Leclerc behind Verstappen, but Leclerc being 4.1 second behind. As we get more team radios of George Russell complaining about the worst decision. That's bad, but just for all of you out there, Schumacher. Okay, no. I was just about to hype Schumacher overtaking Ricciardo, but Ricciardo and Alonso went into the pits. So we currently had Mick Schumacher on first, but Verstappen just swoops by, leaving him behind in the dust by a fair amount. So now the question is, can Schumacher defend against Leclerc? Will Schumacher defend against Leclerc? Because now it is crucial for Charles to just get past Schumacher as fast as he possibly can. He's on the same pit strategy as Verstappen. It doesn't really look like there's still rain coming down, so the track will form a dry line sooner or later. Question now is, yeah, now we're about half an hour from race end, so not much gonna happen there. But will the Inters hold that distance? We have seen the Red Bull struggle hard with the intermediates on a hard push as soon as the track is getting dryish. So, all right, Latifi complaining about more aquaplaning while everybody else is basically seeing how it's getting better, and also the engineers telling Latifi that the rain is getting less and less. So, if the track gets to a certain amount of dryness, basically, that means that Verstappen is most likely, or at least from what we've seen through practice, he will struggle with his tires. So Verstappen just putting in the fastest lap with a 1 minute 45. That's not bad. That's way faster than the pace I actually expected. All right, there we have Leclerc complaining a lot about his tire and actually suggestions from his pit wall to go into the pits, which I am just aware of because I'm having him on the driver cam, so I hear all the radios they're having. So Ferrari actually considering to do another pit stop. Why? Why would you do that? Just can you just not like why just stop if you don't want to win? God damn it. Well. Anyways, so Russell still complaining about the intermediate being a very bad decision. Also, he seems to have lost out in that double stack quite a lot. So I think so yeah, I'm sorry if I'm just getting quiet meanwhile because I am really on board on the camera with Leclerc right now. Um kind of getting his radio messages in because that looks like that's pretty much one of the very deciding factors right now. So and it doesn't look too bad. The car looks stable through the corners and everything, so I don't know what his problem with the tires is. So let's get over there and eh, I like this. All right, so we got Hamilton versus Schumacher now. Schumacher tries to defend but just doesn't. All right. Yeah, well, defending from a Mercedes in a Haas, that's going to be a hard job. So it's okay. It's okay. The question is, can Mick make that happen? It's 29 minutes and 40 seconds from now. Can Mick make it happen on a wet tire to get through? Because now he's ahead of Vettel, who has been catching up rather quickly. I think being on a wet tire is just a bad decision. They have already taken Guan Yu Zhou off the wet tire rather late, which made him fall down into 18th. That's rather unfortunate. And now you really have you can see Mick just struggle getting the power down, getting the speed build up, getting the car slowed down, getting through corners. It's not the tire to be on. I mean, it's nice they tried it basically. And before I forget, meanwhile, we got the fastest lap taken from Verstappen, given it over to Leclerc. So that's basically just a fight. Basically, if Leclerc can take that fastest lap point, or if anyone but Verstappen can take that fastest lap point, the championship has not been decided just yet. So yeah, there we go. It looks it's kinda harsh to see Schumacher struggle there, but he definitely needs to. All right. The McLaren engineers are expecting stable conditions from now on, so it is staying as it is. So now with Verstappen blasting, trying to get in another fastest lap, of course, at the very front of those cars, we see the spray has become much less in certain parts of the course, which means that there is less water on those parts of the course, which in return mean if they didn't get their free practice 2 issues under control, his tires will overheat. So that's basically the thing to look out for. I mean, Leclerc is currently 5 seconds behind Verstappen. That's going to be one heck of a lot of a drive he has to pull to close that gap, basically. And yeah, basically the only real hope for Leclerc, apart from safety cars and such, would be Max getting those tire issues from free practice again, overheating front tires, especially on the inters. Yeah, so that's gonna be a thing to look out. While we are riding on board with Hamilton trying to get the jump on Ocon, which, yeah, there is quite the dry line forming. Meanwhile, we have seen some sparks coming from the floor of Hamilton's car, which doesn't happen if you rub that metal over wet surfaces. So, all right. Yeah, there we go. Hamilton about 9 tenths behind Ocon at the moment. Ocon another 6 second behind Paris. Could this maybe if all goes well, this might be even a Mercedes on the podium. So a podium split up between three different teams. That's something I could definitely get behind. And why is Leclerc so slow? I think they are having him driving a slower pace for now, as long as he has the fastest lap, to conserve his tires. So in case Verstappen is going back and giving it another try with a fastest lap there, um, that basically Leclerc is able and having the tire life in to really secure the fastest lap point. So yeah, there is 25 minutes left at the current pace I see them driving. I don't see the pace they're driving as my data panel just kinda died on me. Damn. Whereas the fastest lap currently is somewhere around the 1 minute 45. So with 25 minutes left in the race, that will be around 13, maybe 14 laps. So there we go. Hamilton seems to still be fighting with Ocon. He seems to be struggling on that overtake, while Alonso is slowly but surely creeping up on Alonso. Alonso's creeping up on Vettel, of course, not on himself. While, yeah, we had the lead trio with. All right, yes. All right, so, well, we do have about, yeah, 20, let's say 10, maybe 12 laps left into this race. We are getting the first messages of overheating issues there for from no two. Damn, I should have slept more. We got the first messages of tires overheating to um, Hamilton, probably considering the Alpine of Ocon there, as those tires they don't look too bad, but they kind of have those dark spots on them that are always a rather bad sign. Yeah, well, all right then. While everybody is going on their team radios telling their drivers that the conditions are stable and that it's basically going to stay how it is, Leclerc is getting a message of his engineers that they are expecting wet spots. And there we go. Leclerc's transmitter seems to have had an issue. I have just seen him standing on the track and was almost to call out the yellow flag, but it's just Leclerc's transponder having another issue comparably to Bottas, while has just been turned off. So I've actually no idea where he is on track. I just know he is very, very closely behind Kevin Magnussen there. With those timings, maybe even looking at points? Might be, yeah, no, yeah, it could be in the points. Well, yeah, now we have Russell there in the way, and he won't give out to this. So yeah, apart from that, doesn't seem like another very weird thing I'm seeing out there is Latifi actually being in the points. I mean, Latifi in P8. Is he? I gotta get my data panel back online here. Come on, give me that juicy data. I mean, all right. So Latifi has pitted. He is on an intermediate tire. He is about 8 seconds behind Alonso, currently in P8. But Norris is getting close there to Russell. But Russell is also about 3.5 seconds behind Latifi, so this might actually be secure points for him. So yeah, might now that it has been confirmed that Latifi won't have a seat in 2023, might it be that he's actually getting points? Oof. All right, Leclerc really wants to box. Leclerc really wants to box, but with that pit window he is in. Let me have a look at that. What is it, about 20, maybe 22 seconds, it says. While we get a picture of a weather radar, it is overcast, cloudy, with a chance of more clouds. So yeah, there we are. Let's have a look. Leclerc, if he is going to pit, he will drop a whole lot. Like he would basically end up around Latifi somewhere. Yeah, sounds about right. Between Alonso and Latifi, that would be his exit position, so that's not too good. And if Leclerc pit, oof, woof, that was a risky move from Perez, but he got past Leclerc. Did he? Did he not? Damn it, his transponder is no. That was a wrong call. Nobody's past no one. It's just Leclerc's transponder being very weird because Leclerc has actually gone into the pits. What? No, Leclerc coming out of turn 11, all good, followed by Perez coming out of turn 11, about now being 4 seconds behind him. That's weird. Okay, I gotta close my map down because that is just crazy stuff happening there due to, I don't know, rain. Seems like our technology there isn't very rainproof yet. So currently we are entering or just about to enter lap 18, with funnily also about 18 laps left to go. With that pace, we will actually be able to reach lap 27. So we would get to the point of half points awarded for everyone. But there we go. Hamilton having another look at Ocon very aggressively, trying to just get past him. But Ocon, how it's been said, he is defending like a lion. And Russell is really having trouble with his tires as he is not really closing up to Latifi, but Latifi also not able to close up to Alonso. So that might be a chance for Norris, while Norris is currently trying to keep Tsunoda behind him. Yeah. So let's see. Back of the field, it all looks rather stable. The times are staying around what they are. All right, so Mercedes trying an undercut on the Alpine of Ocon as he seems to be looking at the pit lane right now. Definitely not for a soft tire. For that, it is still way too wet. But yeah, we do have a last 15 minutes of racing going on there as Paris seems to be slowly creeping up on Leclerc there. The question is, will he be able to close that gap within the next 15 minutes? And as it looks like, Leclerc will be forced to push through. They won't pit him because if Leclerc comes out behind Alonso now, that is another way to have at least the Drivers' Championship secured by Red Bull. If it will be Perez or Verstappen is technically open for debate, but let's be honest, it will be Verstappen. So yeah, Perez now broke into that 4 second window down to almost 3.5 already. So he is pushing. He wants that P2 because, well, if Leclerc doesn't get in on second in this race, the championship is done for him. And unfortunately, if Perez is getting that second position, I don't think he will take them, or I don't think he will be allowed to take the fight to Max Verstappen. All right, so I'm hearing more radio messages now about expecting a few drops of rain, but nothing major, so nothing that will impact the strategy all too well. Lewis is still pushing behind that Ocon car. He is very big appearing in those rearview mirrors, and he's just relentlessly trying to stick his wheels up every inside, outside curb, get straight, go into the slipstream. Now out of the spoon, they are side by side, but he doesn't manage to outspeed him. And Ocon secured the inside line to just keep him behind once more a little bit. And I might even have seen a little bit of contact there as Ocon has been swerving through the chicane. Hamilton has given it another go, but Ocon is just defending that like a lion. He has learned to put up the wall from the best. And yeah, Hamilton having another go trying the outside into turn one. Not a chance there, actually losing out a little bit. Dropping back now, of course, he needs to find a very good line through sector one, through all of these S's, where it's just crucial to not being on the brakes too harsh. And yeah, there we go currently with a replay of that maneuver of Hamilton. So I'm really curious if there has been contact. There has not been any contact. No, it has been very close, but no contact, or at least no contact I have seen so far. Um, what do we have? We have Stroll and Gasly into the pits, which puts Mick Schumacher back up into 15th. Now that is very nice to see as well, indeed. Um, him getting past pretty much everyone there. Question is, will he be able to pick off Bottas? They are currently at a gap of 5 seconds. So I don't think that Mick Schumacher will improve into 14th or even the points. So yeah, Hamilton is having another go there. And still nothing. Ocon is... Now that is some solid defense. it's just close. Like Hamilton is relentlessly just striking, going left, right, setting dummies, trying to slipstream, trying to outspeed him, outbrake him, trying inside lines, outside lines, something else every single lap, but he is just not getting past that Alpine. Hmm. So as much as I would want Hamilton to basically get more into the mix, Ocon and especially Alpine is just as good of a take here. And with that defense he is showing right there, he has definitely earned himself that fourth position if he can hold on. I mean, it's only about 10 more minutes he has to defend, so let's say 5 more laps, maybe something around that. It's getting close. We're now in lap 21. Someone in chat sure has the exact time. Uh, so let's see. Sergio Perez sneaking up on Leclerc, the AWS battle forecast, which is a very, very weird AI, but they tell us that Perez is up on striking distance to Leclerc in about 2 laps. So we have 10 more minutes to go. That's about 11 more minutes to go. That's with a 1 minute 44 fastest lap by Guan Yu Zhou currently. Like, what? Anyways, that's about, yeah, 5, 6, yeah, about 6, maybe 7 with the last lap we are seeing. So Leclerc definitely has to do a defending within the last, let's say, 4 or 5 laps of this race. So yeah, Perez is getting closer fast there. So yeah, now Hamilton's still trying, but it looks like he has been pushing way too hard on those tires, trying to get past Ocon. He is not able to keep up the pace anymore, not over straight lines, and especially not throughout the corners. So we have entered officially the last 10 minutes there. With those last 10 minutes, it is Paris, only 1.7 seconds behind Leclerc now. And yeah, Verstappen pretty much running away. Like, Verstappen is 16 and a half seconds ahead of Leclerc. That is almost enough to even put in a pit stop if he wanted to. Only a few more seconds there. And yeah, Hamilton still all over the back from Ocon, but you can see how he's starting to struggle putting the power down, finding his line. He is having a lot of understeer meanwhile, always having to compromise his own lap. But into Spoon, he's actually not doing too bad getting up there, but it is not enough to really become a danger to Ocon as he's just struggling for grip and outmaneuvering him. So he's pretty much stuck behind that Alpine there. And he's always using the slipstream, always just sucking it right up to the corner, but his tires just won't make that brake and grip inside line maneuver anymore. So what else do we have? We have Russell that has been getting past Latifi in the meantime. But that would still be a little bit of points for Latifi right there. I mean, it's 4 more laps until full points are awarded. We are having until half points are awarded. We're having 8 more minutes to go, so I think we will crush the 27 lap mark. So they should definitely get together. And Russell passed Alonso in the pits. All right. Um, Latifi as well. What is Alonso doing there? What tires are they putting him on? Norris, so that might as well bring Ricciardo into the points. And close. No, but Alonso manages to hang on into that P10. Ricciardo currently 1.5 seconds behind him. And Alonso just strapped on a fresh Inter. So come on, it's chance of points for the Honey Badger there, while nope. No. He just lost about 1.5 seconds through sector one on Alonso there. just dropping down there. So that's not really gonna happen anything there. As he's now 4 seconds behind. Yeah, no. Ricciardo, Alonso, that's a battle we're not gonna see, but Alonso and Norris now, that is something. And Perez, meanwhile, within only 0.7 seconds of Leclerc. Leclerc seems to be struggling with tires as he is going offline to cool those intermediates, presumably. So that might, if Perez is able to overtake Leclerc, which he most likely is because he's just closing in way too fast, driving very proper lines, while Leclerc is going offline every now and then just to get some water in those interns, get them cooled down again as they seem to be overheating for him a lot. So I do not think it's going to be a Leclerc P2, not as it looks currently, because Perez is all over his back and his tires are performing way better than Leclerc's. So yeah, what else do we have going on? I mean, we do have Hamilton still very, very close behind Ocon there, just trying and trying and trying. And we have Alonso past Latifi. Meanwhile, Perez being like really in like they could give each other a kiss now. Perez and Leclerc. That's how close they are to each other, and they are now coming out of Spoon going into turn 15, which is basically flat out in those Formula One cars now into the last chicane. Can he manage to outbrake Leclerc? No, not quite yet, but he made up some time. Seemingly half a second behind him. Can he get this done over the start finish straight? They're now entering lap 25. 5 more minutes to go, so we will definitely crack the 27 lap mark. And he's not managed to get it past Leclerc there, as he seems to find some pace left in those tires. And it's still Guan Yu Zhou with the fastest lap. Just want to put that out there. So yeah, just putting that out there. So I sort of I don't know what I want. I want Checo to succeed. I think he deserves to succeed. I think he deserves that P2, but I don't want him to get that P2 because I want the championship to go on. So there we go. Ooh, into the hairpin. Perez had quite an aggressive look on the inside of Leclerc's car there, but still behind Leclerc. He still didn't manage to overtake him there, while Ocon is still defending from Hamilton, is still all over him. And if they continue fighting like that, they will lose out a lot of time. And if they lose out a lot of time, you know what? Then we have a sneaky little Sebastian Vettel right behind them who might get into the mix. At least I hope so, within the last 3.5 minutes of this race. So let's have another look. Leclerc and Perez just getting out of that chicane onto the start finish straight. Leclerc, Perez having a little bit of a fishtail out of there, and with that, seemingly losing out on some time to Leclerc, so he might be able to defend that for another lap, just as. And it is a purple sector 1 from Alonso. How are his other sectors doing? Not all too well, while yeah, no, sector 2 is looking solid. Sector 2 is looking solid. So there he goes over the start finish line. Not enough for a fastest lap door. And Verstappen asking for to box for new tires. Now he is 23 seconds ahead of Leclerc. He could pull that off, but also it's 2.5 minutes left. That's 2 laps. By the moment, let's see the sector times there. It's about 20 seconds for sector 3, which Verstappen has just entered. So 2 minutes, so it is pretty much finishing this lap and then go around the circuit 2 more times. So I don't think it's making much sense to box. I mean, he's having a lot of leniency there. 2 more minutes, he's going over the start finish straight now. So he could basically just slow down a bit, driving a pace about 7 seconds slower than he would usually, 7 to 8 seconds slower. And then it would be 2 more laps to that race. And he can definitely manage that on the intermediate tire he is having strapped on, especially with that 24-second gap to Leclerc. Meanwhile, and Perez now having another go. Good exit onto the start finish straight, right into the slipstream of Leclerc, but not able to get the power down just enough there. But how does it look into the S's? He's trying to get the inside line, but it seems like he is starting to struggle with his tires as well. This might just be very well defendable for Leclerc. It has looked way more hopeless before, but he is not doing too bad of a job right there. Always trying, or always actually taking out some time of Perez throughout all the cornery bits, and then kinda giving it losing it out again on the straights. So let's see how this goes. Let's have a rundown. Let's see what else is happening. Hamilton still behind Ocon by 0.3 seconds, 0.4 seconds, 0.2 seconds. So they are fighting a lot, and Vettel kind of losing out there a little bit as he is now 5.1 seconds behind Hamilton. So he won't really get into the fight. We have entered the last 15 seconds where Verstappen out of the chicane. He might just be able to. Will he just slow down? No. There we go. Final lap of the race. Last chance for Perez to get past Leclerc as they are now entering the chicane. Alonso all over the back of Russell as well. So we see the picture in picture there of Hamilton trying to have another go at Ocon, but that's just not gonna happen anymore. I don't see this while Leclerc is still driving through a lot of wet patches there to keep his tires cool, but it seems to be working as Perez seems to be losing a little bit of time, like just a tenth of a lap throughout that little sector there, but a tenth is a lot of time if you're in Suzuka in the rain under such conditions on a last lap. So what a defense of Leclerc there so far. I hope he can keep it up because I have decided I will support him because I want the championship to go on. On the other hand, I'm not mad if Checo gets it because my man deserves that. He has driven an amazing race as well. So we have that whole driver of the day discussion as well. Like I have no idea who to vote for. I think it's going to be Vettel. Not for any performances, but just because I'm going to miss him. So what do we have? Ooh, turn 11 outside, trying to switch back, getting the tire on the inside, no contact, really proper racing. Woof, if he could have just had a little bit more grip out of that turn 11, he would have been through, but he wasn't. 1/10 behind now, but kind of falling back to 1.8 tenths into Spoon. Verstappen now going through turn 18. He has won that easily with 26 seconds of a gap. So he could have even had a free pit stop there, but he did not get a fastest lap. So now Perez and Leclerc getting into that last chicane. Half a second between them, and he's kind of fishtailing out of there. Leclerc seems to put into the runoff. Leclerc, ooh, that was a risky move, but he does not manage to pass him. He is only 0.3 seconds behind Leclerc, but that is 0.3 seconds behind Leclerc, giving him a third position. So we have Ocon also in the finish now, still ahead of Hamilton with a defense like wow. But ooh, that might be a little bit screwed to near there as Leclerc kind of went off the track there through that chicane. Now, this is the sucky situation. Leclerc, unforced error, outbraked himself, and ah, now that is going to be a steward's decision. So, who is second and who is third? We will maybe know when we're in Austin, Texas, because stewards are taking their sweet time to make that decision. But currently, as it stands, we are having Verstappen with a comfortable lead ahead of Leclerc, then very closely followed by Perez. So they will have a huge discussion with the stewards there on who is actually second and who is actually third. Then we've had another quite comfortable gap to Ocon, who has been defending like a lion from Hamilton for I don't know what has felt like about 50 years or something. So he has absolutely deserved that fourth place ahead of Hamilton. Then followed by Vettel, who did not manage to catch up and do anything to join that fight, unfortunately, but he was successful in keeping Alonso behind him, who has finished just 100th of a second behind Vettel, then followed by Russell, another second behind Alonso. And there we go. Latifi making up 10 positions from his starting grid, position into ninth, into the points. We do have Gotifi points there. Now, that is a little highlight for the Nutella man for sure. And then Norris rounding out the points positions, only half a second behind Latifi, so that wasn't really gifted there. So now, does Leclerc get a penalty or not? We do not know just yet. I mean, it has been a very good defense. Everything towards the end, he just kind of lost his grip a little bit, and the engineers are telling him it is um yeah, his engineer is telling him it is a P2. But yeah, at the moment nobody knows. Oh, there we go. Turn 16. There we go. It will be investigated, so it will take us some time until we know who actually won this. But Leclerc wins from Leclerc and Perez. Damn it. Verstappen wins from Leclerc and Perez with a comfortable lead. Um, so yeah, that Ocon defense though, beautiful, beautiful. We might actually look at GoatCon there. Nah, that's not going well off the tongue. But yeah, Mick Schumacher, very, very unfortunate with his pit strategy, and actually Ferrari's pit strategy not performing too bad, so they might just become a threat. So yeah, now the difficult thing, if I look at that with Leclerc and Perez there, Leclerc has been outbraking himself, going off the track through the chicane, um, gaining it very aggressively, already forcing Perez offline, and then like the next dangerous thing is just down into turn 16, 18, just leading down to the start finish straight. That is basically where he then again did some dangerous maneuvering and almost forcing Paris off the track there, and he had to back out. So I wouldn't want to be in the steward's box right now. I really wouldn't want to be there. But yeah, Max Verstappen is 1 point short of becoming the world champion. It has not been decided yet. And yeah, funny enough, fastest lap was with Guan Yu Zhou. So yeah, I'm staying tuned here. Paris under investigation, leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Yes, that is still under investigation. So, hmm, hmm. But yeah, Max is giving his winner interview. He seems very happy, joking, making a lot of bad jokes, but not really saying anything in the interview. Just the empty things everyone says. So there we go. FIA stewards decision has been made. 5-second time penalty for Leclerc for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Now that is unfortunate, and I do not have a timing board in front of me. So let's see timings there. That puts Leclerc into P3. Still ahead of Ocon though. Yeah, so that is basically the championship for Max because now the only one able to take it from him is Checo Perez. And let's be honest, that's not going to happen. Not because of driver quality, but because of team orders standing behind that. So, yeah, well, I don't know. I'm not fairly sure. Yeah, racing statistics. Might we get another quick poll there because now that is something I'm kinda curious about. Oh no. Yeah, there it is. It has just been said. Max is champion of the world. So yeah, no, that's been it. He is crowned world champion now. That's kind of anticlimactic having the drivers' championship now decided by a 5-second time penalty. So, eh. But yeah, Leclerc, quote of Leclerc, a very good quote of Leclerc there. Max's title this year has just been a matter of time. I mean, he deserved it. He really deserved it. But how is it he's getting a second World Drivers' Championship, and it is very controversial once again. I mean, he had that championship in the bag. He would have gotten that done even without the penalty. But it's once again, it's the deciding factor is a penalty. That's damn. But yeah, that's been it from here. Thank all of you for joining in and hanging in there with me for those why was it controversial? Nothing of that was controversial. Leclerc went off track. He was gaining an advantage. One but it's just kind of like, yeah, okay, he's drivers champion, he's champion of the world. Decided by a penalty. That's the point here. So yeah, no, but yeah, fair point. I kind of misspoke there. Yeah, Leclerc went off track. He gained an advantage. Has to be penalized, or it can be penalized. I'm glad the stewards did penalize that. I expect them to penalize everything as transparent as this. But it's just, uh. So yeah, that's that's it. That has been the last time we see Vettel on that track, and we haven't even seen all too much from Vettel. but he got a solid P6 ahead of Alonso, behind Hamilton. So yeah, I am definitely curious on what the whole cost cap investigation brings today now. And yeah, I'm kind of sad to yeah, never or not yeah, no, probably never see Sebastian Vettel fighting for a Formula 1 position here anytime soon or anytime ever again, but he has been voted driver of the day. So there we go. Fastest lap has been confirmed. It has been made by Guan Yu Zhou, lap 20. No point awarded though, since he did not make the top 10. Ah, but that must sting so bad for Leclerc to be down there because of that penalty. Very, very, very unfortunate. But yeah, that's about it. I'm tired and I'm sad. So yeah, I'm gonna wish y'all a very good night catching up on sleep, or fixing your sleep schedule. Or maybe that was one of the weekends that actually played into your sleep schedule, and you're one of the lucky ones or unlucky ones for about 20 other races. So, anyways, thank you very much for being here. It has been much fun. I hope when I get the next race to comment, I will be prepared a little bit better than I was this time and maybe not slightly tipsy from it. So, y'all have a good night and or a good day or whatever. And yeah, remember, go out there and do one random good deed for any stranger. It does come a long way, and just don't make it like me. But that's a story for another time. Take care of yourself. Love y'all. And goodbye.